1857. It burned in
the original freight depot.
And that burned in 2004.
2004.
Luckily, it's still here today. That's awesome. We're gonna go up to the 3rd floor at the Huntsville depot. Supposedly very, very haunted. You said the lights turned off on you? That is freaky, man. We've seen apparitions in our videos, but never anything in person. Except for once at the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee. And we were up on the 3rd floor, actually got like a 7-foot tall shadow figure. It was freaky. It was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that before.
I don't know many of the ghost stories of it. I've just been what I've been told.
Yeah, yeah. How long have you worked here? You've been here a while?
I've been here 2 years.
That's awesome, man. I'm jealous. I'm very jealous.
It's good because I can combine my love of history with,
I agree.
Yeah.
I love history. It's always been my favorite. In high school, it was my favorite subject. That and art. But to actually get to be here, it's really cool. I take pictures and video. That way I have something to put on Facebook. Oh, wow. Thank you. Wow. This place is huge.
It was built in 1860, so right before the Civil War.
You got a flickering light going on there. It kind of caught me off guard for a second. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Already? We allowed to go in there? I'll get a shot of that.
I'm just not sure where they are.
Maybe the ghosties will find it for you.
To be honest, I'm not sure where the light switch is.
That's good. I just want to get a good picture of that. That's cute.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool, right?
Your camp or vibe. Yeah.
That's really neat. All right. I didn't want to. Oh, I thought that was a real dude. Kind of threw me off.
This room before it was the telegraph room was the women's waiting room.
That is awesome.
And the bigger room was the men's waiting room.
Very cool. I didn't know they had them separated like that. Wow, this place is a lot bigger inside than I thought it would be. What do you think, Jeremy?
I love it.
Me too.
Like big rooms like this.
Me too.
Always impressed me.
My grandmother actually lives over at the Russell Erskine, and they have this beautiful ballroom there. We have our Thanksgiving dinners there. It's really nice.
At the Russell.
Hotel Russell Erskine, right up here around the corner.
We actually have our own house, have a Studebaker.
Yeah.
Because he was president of the Studebaker company in the 20s, and they built a roaster and then from them.
Oh wow.
We have an auto house, one of only 6 known to exist in the country.
Really?
In the world.
Oh, in the world, that's even better.
Yes. And right here, this staircase is the original staircase. The one that we just came up was replaced. This one is the original one. It does slant, but it is completely round. Structurally sound.
I was going to ask, that was my next question.
It is the original staircase. And the floor is the original flooring.
It's got a little tilt on it.
It does.
Thanks for the heads up.
But this is one of the things that we're very proud of.
I agree.
Our graffiti.
I would be too.
We have repeated this back in the Civil War. When prisoners were held captive.
So glad you have lights up here. She's a heavy breathing on a big lady.
Turn the light on.
Oh, okay. Thank you again for. So what is this room? Just like a memorial for the. Oh, that's the graffiti.
The graffiti on the wall, it's on several of the walls up here, but this is the 2 rooms that most of it's at.
Wow.
There's actually one. Some of it dates at that time of the Civil War, and some of it dates back to the early 1900s. My favorite is this one right here. This is about a man named Harris Grover. He wrote his name when he was stationed here with the Union Army, and then a couple of months later, he was killed in the Battle of Atlanta.
Wow.
Age 17.
17.
And then his friend came back from Huntsville after the war and wrote that epitaph underneath it.
As a man, get a picture of that.
That to me is the most poignant one.
Yeah. That is amazing.
And we have the CY for Charles Yearwood. Mr. Yearwood was employed by Southern Railway to write the letters and numbers on the cars, on train cars, and so he practiced for his name on the wall.
That is
So
amazing.
we have some CYs. Next to it, you'll see Sound Street. Sound Street's a 15-year-old who lived nearby, worked for the telegraph office as a messenger boy, and as young boys are going to do, he wrote his name on the wall. So you'll see Sound Street on the wall quite a bit.
That is amazing. I see. Wow.
And if you look behind his name, kind of, you can see the image of a man, of drawing of a man.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at it abstract. Let's see. Oh, man. Yeah, he's got fingers. He's got a head. I see it. That is crazy. I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out. That's awesome. You see it, babe? Yeah, didn't, yeah. That is so cool. This room is amazing. I'd heard stories about the graffiti on the walls. Wow, it's so profound just to see it in person. It's amazing.
It is.
So this is the original. They walked here. They lived here for a minute,
For 2
like
days.
for 2 days.
Confederate prisoners of war, after the taking of Huntsville, were kept here for 10 days. There's around 200 of them up here. And several of them drew pictures
In this one area, there was 200 people.
of 200 Confederate soldiers were held.
Wow.
This wall also has a double piece that was drawn here at that time by a man named L. Pierce.
A
We
double
don't know
piece.
who he is, if he was Union or Confederate, but he drew that picture.
That is amazing. Double piece.
Mitchell, General Orange Mitchell was the one who took Huntsville. He marched into Huntsville early in the morning as the sun was coming up over Montesano. No one knew he was coming.
There's another Sam Street.
And he was able to take Huntsville without firing a single shot.
Wow. Just like
The
that.
only one was they shot off some cannonballs in order to keep the trains from leaving the yard, train yard. And
Wow.
so they did destroy the track because the Charleston-Memphis Railroad, which is the road that came through here, was one of the last major railroads into the South.
Wow.
So if they could take that and destroy the railroad, they could pretty much cut the Confederacy in half.
And yeah, they had their, wow, they had that advantage.
And Mitchell was chosen to destroy the railroads because he actually worked at one time for a railroad company, helping to build as a foreman or construction foreman, building the railroads.
That is amazing. You know so much about this, which I'm sure you have to, but at the same time, I know you probably had interest in this before. Like, you tell just how you tell the story. You can tell you're very passionate about it. That's really cool.
It's funny. Do you know when exactly the dates that they were kept here?
Mitchell took Huntsville, I believe, April 13th.
That's my sister's birthday. 92, obviously, but
I
still.
was just looking at the 2810. It might be even. Okay, never mind. September 28th.
Huh.
It's September now. Yeah.
That is so
So the
freaking.
graffiti dates from the time of the Civil War up until about 1950.
That is amazing.
After the war, the Charleston, Memphis ran into some difficulties money-wise. Reconstruction was very hard on them, and so they ended up selling the railway to Southern Railways.
I got you.
Wow.
And so when the depot went to them, they, of course, took down the first staircase to keep people from going upstairs because the second floor was actually the offices for the Charleston, Memphis.
Wow.
division.
I love that that's the original staircase. You know, that's really cool. Man, I'm gushing. I'm sorry. We'll get one more walk through this room. I guess I'll move on.
I have to admit that when I'm up here by myself, I can feel like there's something up here with me.
Feel like they're watching you, kind of get the hair on the back of your neck feeling. Yeah. They say if you feel like you're walking through some spider webs, that's definitely a presence and a cold spots. Yeah. You ever feel like you're walking through spider webs up here and there's none to be found?
Not that, but just, this creepy kind of,
Lurky feeling.
someone here with me.
Are we allowed to go in here?
Yes.
Okay.
But my view is, this is their home now.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna be respectful.
I respect that. This is their home. I'm gonna leave them be.
Is that actually
That's kinda
attic
how-
access, or is that?
Oh, it's an overhead light. I'm sure. Oh, this pretty lady.
That is a drawing of Virginia Clay. Virginia Clay was the wife of Clement Claiborne Clay, and she
Okay.
was the daughter-in-law of, I can't think of his name at the moment. Clement Clay. Clement Clay was the 8th governor of Alabama.
You just sniff the dress.
Well, I smell mothballs.
Oh.
She was actually, her husband was in the U.S. Senate, and so she was very much involved in the social society
The elites.
before the war years in the 1850s, and she wrote a book about it.
She's a beautiful lady. Is she a good lady in her days?
From what I understand, as far as I know,
Good lady.
she was a Southerner, so she had Southern views.
Yeah. Which I guess they just didn't know any better then, and that's really neat. You got her whole. That's so cool.
And these are some of the women that were from this area that were active during the war.
Really? So they would provide shelter and stuff, or?
I believe so. I'm not sure what they did, but they were,
They were activists for sure.
We have a little thing over here that tells a little bit about some of the women.
Gotcha.
Mary Jane Chaddock actually wrote a diary about during the occupation of Huntsville.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
You can actually.
I'm gonna have to.
You can purchase her book. I think you have to go online, like Amazon or something. But you can get a copy of that.
I keep feeling like I need to film this way. I don't know why. Like it's just like a, hey, look over here kind of thing, I always feel like I'm gonna miss something. Usually the things I've caught have been in like 2-second frames, so I'm not paying any attention. I've been very lucky. The military men of Huntsville. That's a cool shot.
Have you ever heard of Morgan's Raiders?
Yes, actually, yes.
That was a leader.
Mr. Morgan.
John Hunt Morgan.
Wow. Morgan's Riders. I knew I'd heard that before. That's really cool. Man, I gotta get up to par with my history. Like I really do, because I would love to know more about all of this stuff.
And this picture right here, this is actually General Mitchell, the man who took Huntsville.
That's the guy you just told us about. Wow.
He's the one who took Huntsville. Actually, he did go to West Point, but he was more interested in astronomy than he was in being military.
Huh.
So he was one of America's first astronomers.
Wow.
There's actually, there's a place on Mars, near the polar and the South Pole. Mars has a little bright space there. He's the first one to discover that. And so there's a mound of mountains on Mars that's named for him.
Oh, shit. That's really cool.
And then he later was called back up to Washington and sent to South Carolina where he died of yellow fever.
Man, that took Huntsville. Dies of yellow fever.
And during the taking, only one person died. A fireman on one of the engines.
Wow.
And it was actually Mitchell that, have you ever heard of the Great Locomotive?
Yes.
Case?
Yes.
Mitchell's one of the ones that was involved in planning that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Railroads. He knew a lot about railroads.
Oh, yeah, apparently. This guy had it down pat. I did not know that he was a part of the locomotive, though. That's really cool.
He was the one who helped plan that.
This is amazing. So, is this all of the third floor? Well,
The second floor was where they had, this was mainly during that time, would have been the bunk rooms for the like the engineers and the people who worked on trains, which are also in Memphis. The second floor is where they had their offices.
I love how you have that rotating window and it still works. I just noticed that. Like, it still opens. That's really cool.
I never noticed this. Never noticed that.
Really?
I never noticed it.
That's cool. I like that it still works. It obviously still opens. I love seeing stuff like that still function, you know? I love this. This is so cool. Thank you so much for taking the time.
This building was built in 1860, so it's 160 years old.
It's got that age to it, man. That's really cool.
And I can tell that this is the original floor.
Yeah.
Now the first floor, the flooring has been replaced at the turn of the century, but
This is real. This is authentic. There's nothing, no doubt about it.
Less traffic, so they haven't had to replace it.
Well, I guess that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap. Thank you. What's your name again?
my name is Miranda.
Thank you, Miss Miranda, for showing us around. It's been a great one.